What's up to everyone out there? All my play for keeps peeps. Um, Good to see you tonight. I think you'll notice that I'm a little lonely, right? It's just one. One is the loneliest number, right? My co-host Tom is off for the night. I hope he's having a great time doing whatever he's doing. Um, but yeah, so you just got me. I'm sorry. I know the face is whatever. The voice is pretty good though, right? You got to give me that at least. Anyway, let's hit this. Let's get this started. Let's go. All right. What's going on out there tonight? I hope everyone is having a good one. Good to see you, Kat, as always. Always happy to see Kat. Uh, so this show, I kind of kicked the tires on what to do by myself. I didn't want to talk about anything big without Tom here. That's just something I like. I like having someone to bounce those ideas off of, and we can kind of riff and reminisce about cool things we love in those areas and those IPs and those franchises. So I thought, hey, we're just gonna deep dive into toy news, right? Like it's just gonna be all toy news. There's a ton of it out there, and yeah, I thought that we. uh, are you in toy? You are in Toy Joe. I saw that earlier, Tom. All right, free Tom, free Tom. I'm starting the campaign right now. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna deep dive into some news. There's a lot out there. I kind of found a lot of things that I kind of just wanted to give my 2 cents on more than anything, really. Um, and there has been some new updates on a few things as well. So this one may be short and sweet. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But hey, let's just kick this off with special. This just in. That was awesome. Oh man. All right, you know what? Let's just jump right into this thing, right? Unleash Battle Cat. You know what? We might. We'll see. But right out of the gate, the big news recently, really, not just this week, has been the Maximum Marvel Legends Spider-Man, right? The Maximum Edition, whatever it is. And the price was released, $50. Went up for pre-order. Sold out too, and it's had the $50 price tag had a lot of mixed reviews. I kind of thought that's what it was going to be, right? I was kind of leaning more towards maybe 40, but 50, okay. A lot of people picked this thing apart. They were mad, right? Like all over the internet. It was on fire. How dare you charge $50 for an action figure and all this? And I get it. And as Ken says, wow, that's a lot of money. It is, right? But I'm going to play devil's advocate tonight because I watched a few videos about from the creators from Hasbro Pulse, and a lot of things made sense to me as to why this has a $50 price tag, other than the insane amount of accessories, right? But this is a new figure built from the ground up. Okay, new molds, new sculpt, everything is new. This is a brand new Spider-Man, if you will, and I know it looks just like every other Spider-Man that they've made recently, but it is new. It is something that they had to put a lot of money into making new. Which again, coming with that is also a new articulation system. We don't have pins here. They found a lot of places to put cuts and bends and swivels and all that stuff. So what we're getting is a highly posable Spider-Man, right? I agree with you, Kat. I kind of wish it was closer to 40. Like I said, that would have been more in my price point. I did not pre-order it myself because I have so many Spider-Man. Why do I need another one? But if I find this thing out in the wild, I may pull the trigger on it. I don't know. we'll see how things are going at that time. There's too many other things that cost a lot of money that I want to collect first. But anyway, back to the Spider-Man, right? New sculpt, pinless. They opened up the hips is something else they talked about, so that you could just get that even more, the legs in crazy directions and poses and stuff. It really, I got some pictures of it here that I'll bring up in just a second. It really does look like, from a lot of the promo pictures, that this thing is going to be able to be in some awesome poses, like just fantastic poses, right? This is something that I think adds to that $50 price tag. They made all these advancements. They even have like a new neck design where it swivels down here by the shoulders and up here by the head, which is something we've seen before, right? That's not new. I think I've seen some Mezcos with that, some Mafex with that. But that's kind of what this is. This is getting closer to the higher end action figures we know already, at a $50 price tag instead of a $100 price tag. So, again, just playing devil's advocate here. I think it's fine. I think it's justifiable. I am worried about what it's going to do to the action figure market going forward, though, right? Is this going to pick up the prices? If you're willing to spend $50 for this, what are you willing to spend for the basic Marvel Legends series? Can we go up to 30? Can we get away with that if we just throw in a couple of extra accessories? Maybe. That is my one big worry about the whole thing. But as far as this figure goes, again, $50 feels a little more than reasonable, but still close enough to make me feel comfortable with something like that. So what about you guys out there? I know we've had a couple people be like, that's a little too much for me, but would you spend $50 on this? Do you feel like this is going to perhaps set a new precedent for the action figure market and kind of raise prices overall, not just in these maximum series, right? I don't know. Another question I'd like to pose is, who else would you like to see in this type? Who else would you like them to start from the ground up and build a new figure of, right? And make it better than what it has been. I know the rumors right now are that the next one is the Incredible Hulk already. Again, that's just rumors. But it feels like likely that that's what's going to be. Myself, I don't know. I know they're going to hit up the normal, the iconic main title characters before they do anything deep diving. But yeah, it's interesting. I would prepare, though. There's going to be more coming for sure, because this one, like I said, this one sold out already. Pre-order sold out anyway. So they've got an audience for it. They've got a market for it. They're going to definitely do more. It's coming. And I agree with you, Kat. A new Spider-Gwen would be pretty awesome. And Ken just said the same thing, Ghost Spider. Absolutely. I think that's a good character for something like this. If they could find a way to get her down to like 40, that would be great. I don't know if that's possible, but we'll see. Oh, man. So moving on from there, this one is a big one for me, right? Miraculous Muncie. Good to see you, buddy. I want adult worthy toys at kid prices. Yes. I feel you 100%. And that's why I bring up Street Fighter 2 from Jada Toys. These are those figures. These are fantastic, man. And they just put Blanca and Sagat up for pre-order. I have been collecting this line personally. So I have every character they've released so far except for DJ, I believe. And I'll get him eventually. But these two, when they dropped, these are two of my mains in Street Fighter 2 anyway. So to finally see them made me very happy. And these figures, they're a little more than because these are bigger, and they're a little bit bigger than the other characters. So they're a little bit they're like $5 more than the other ones were like 22, 23. These are like closer to 30. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough. But man, they look so good. I love them. I feel like they compete with high-end brands, like SH Fig Arts. They're obviously not as good, obviously, but they compete. They're worth your money for what they are, for sure, because they look good, they move good, their packaging is awesome, and I can't wait to get it on. Just set this up so I can set up all my characters in a big old fight. It's gonna be great. I love the Blanco pose when he's like charging up. So cool, iconic Sagat and his uppercut. Ah, they just look so good. I got hyped when they released them. I was like, I got to talk about it. No matter what we do on Play for Keeps, I'm talking about Street Fighter 2 Jada Toys because that's one of my favorite lines right now. I'm telling you, check them out if you're a fan of video games, especially Street Fighter. They're worth your time to look into at least, if nothing else, right? Another big one, the Fleischner Superman animated series from McFarlane Toys. Absolutely beautiful. I loved that animated short as a kid. Still do. You can go watch it on YouTube anytime you want, especially those old cartoons as well. I think they're public domain now. This thing looks so good, man. Also sold out pre-order before I could get my hands on it. So now I'm like fingers crossed that I'll find it in the wild somewhere. But who knows, right? It's probably going to be tough. I'm probably going to end up having to spend an extra $10 on eBay to get it or something like that. But man, it is a beautiful. This is iconic Superman to me. I know most people would be like the yellow diamond with the red S over it, but this is the one. When someone says classic Superman, this first image that comes to mind is the Fleischner animated series. It's just, or cartoon short, whatever it was. Yeah, just beautiful. A lot of McFarlane stuff has been released over the last week or so, or teased in some sense of the word. Batman 89 is getting another McFarlane figure. I think this is like maybe I don't know if this is the second or third one. I don't know, but this one comes with the wing get up, so you can like put him all the way out when he glides, the back glider, whatever you want to call it. This is also coming up February 21st, so I think Friday, I think that is for pre-order. Yeah, we've already got some in-hand images of it online. There's a YouTube review, and it looks cool. I mean, it looks like the last figure, but with the whole wingspan thing, with the whole glider aspect. I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do we need another Batman 89? Or we're good there? I think I'd like to see them do more characters from Batman 89 until you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the second Batman 89. Give us a Joker from that era. Give us the comics Batman 89. Give us some characters from that. Give us the Two-Face from that. Give us the Robin from that. Yeah, all kinds of things in those comics that I'd like to see come to life in action figure form, because I myself, I like it when the action figures are like straight from the comics. I do like movie stuff too. I collect a lot of movie action figures, but when it comes to comic book characters, I want their comic book versions. Those are the most iconic to me, and the most fun to like put out and pose and play with. So, yeah. Another Batman, because McFarlane pumps out Batmans like crazy, man. That's like their go-to. But exactly, Ken. That's exactly what I'm saying. We need more rogues. And we'll get to one in here in a second. There is a cool one coming up. But Batman Year 2, we've got this figure already in like the colorized version with the gray, the blue, and the yellow. And this is the black and white version, gold label or whatever. I was not interested in the first one when it dropped, but there's something about this one that strikes me. I don't know if it's the classic look or what with the black and white, but this one's more in my wheelhouse than the previous was. But as me and Tom have talked about, variants, man, do we need them? Do we not need them? There's all kinds of them. This is one that I don't know. I don't know if we need it, but I think I like it better than the original. It's real. It's like that, right? And as Muncie is saying, we need more of all Bat fam. Yes, right. I just picked up a Red Hood figure today, actually, at Walmart, from the DC Direct that comes with the comic book. And he's beautiful. It was the platinum edition, so he doesn't have the. I would rather have the tan coat, but he's got like the black coat, a black coat on instead. But Yeah, expand me with the Bat family, Nightwings, Robins, Batgirls, Batwomen, all that stuff, man. They're great. Signal, and we've gotten a lot of them now. We have, but I would like them to see dive more into rogues and side characters. It would be cool. But there's some extra images of him. I think there's something about him standing by the grave in the black and white that kind of struck me. I think that was the picture I saw that made me go, wait a minute. Maybe I would rock this. I don't know. I collect a lot of Batman stuff, so I'll have to think about it. I don't think it's going to sell out. It doesn't seem like something people are clamoring to buy like real fast right now. But yeah, speaking of the Batman Rogues, though, this is a cool one. All right, so we've got a recreation of the Killing Joke cover, and this is the Joker. I would love to see more of this, and they gave it its own like category, which was the McFarlane cover recreations, right? I would love that. I a lot of why I buy comics is because of the cover art, and the art inside too, and the story. But the cover art is what grabs you and brings you in. At least me. I'm more likely to buy a book if it has a beautiful cover, especially if I don't know anything about it. I'm new to it. It's a number one or something. Like I want to check that out because that looks awesome. But even with traditional characters like the Joker and Batman, some awesome art, something new, something fresh take on it. Uh, exactly. This is the iconic cover. This is an iconic moment in character history, right? I do notice some things I don't like about the figure, which is the long trench coat, because I don't think in the cover it's a long coat. I think it stops at his waist. I'll have to look at it again, but it looks really cool, and I'm definitely probably gonna pick this one up. uh, Man, so we've gone through a lot of like I don't want to. They are lower end figures, really. Marvel Legends, McFarlane, and now we're going to kind of go up into higher end stuff that I'm not even going to splurge on, but it's really cool stuff, and I wanted to talk about it because it's interesting to me, especially this Mondo Spangler. Um, I like that Mondo are doing 1/12 scale. They've always done 1/6, and they're just really big figures at a really high price point at like $250 to $300, and it's hard to justify something like that. And then a lot of times when I watch the reviews on those figures, they're not very articulate. I don't want to say they're cheap because they don't. They look great, like their sculpt and their detail and their paint is amazing. But as far as posing goes, it's kind of like me, right? It's hard to move their joints and stuff a lot of times. It is what it is. I haven't held one in my hand, so I can't say that. I'm just saying what I've seen in other toy reviews, right? But I really like the real Ghostbusters. I don't know if they released. I know they put it up for pre-order. The Venkman that you see in the picture on the right. Excuse me. And he came with Slimer. Looked great. And again, though, right? I think these go at like $100 for a 1/12. But so does Mondo, so does Mafex, so does SH Figuarts sometimes. That is your high end price. That is a good high end price. The thing is, I don't know the posability on these yet, because with their larger figures, like I said, it's meh, at best. One thing that is cool about the Spangler, though, is you're technically getting two figures because it comes with that boogeyman, and that thing is huge. Like, it's bigger than Spangler. Also, you get those two little guys. I love that little ghost trap. That thing is cute as a button. Oh, man, I love that. It's cool. But yeah, the big boogeyman character, that's iconic from the show. That's a lot. That's a lot right there for a 6-inch figure to come with. So I don't know. If you're a big Ghostbusters fan, if you're the real Ghostbusters fan, this is definitely something in your wheelhouse, something to think about, because we haven't really gotten a lot of detailed 6-inch figures of these guys. We've gotten, re-releases of the old 3 3/4 simple ones. But yeah, this is something for serious Ghostbusters collectors, honestly. I don't know if that's me. Probably not. I don't know. But sticking in the Mondo realm, This thing is beautiful, man. This Evil Lyn is fantastic. Uh, if I had the money to collect these Mondo figures, it would definitely be the Masters of the Universe line because they are amazing. He-Man, Skeletor, Beastman, Evil Lyn, they've all looked so good. They're also way out of my price range. But if I could afford it, if I was in that tax bracket, so to speak, 100% without a doubt would pick these up. Evil Lyn looks amazing, man. She's one of my favorite Masters of the Universe characters. It comes with a Screech, the barbarian bird, and his little perch. You got all these. You got the two. Oh man, you got all these accessories that come with her. And again, this is one of the 112s instead of what 1/6 scale instead of one of the 112s. Soft goods. They look good. They put a lot of work into these. They put a lot of artistic like work into these. Maybe not so much on the articulation side, but and yeah, and the technical side, but artistically, these are pieces of art, in my opinion. You know what I mean? They're limited editions. They are highly detailed and stylized. That's kind of what puts them in that price range, as far as I know. But speaking of Masters of the Universe, and if you don't know, if you haven't been watching, Masters of the Universe March is coming, right? That is coming. And we're going to talk more about Masters of the Universe, but we did get some news on the movie, and I just want to stop for a second to talk about it. We'll go into way more detail about it next month. But they released some set images, and I love them. They look great. First thought was, oh boy, here we go again on Earth, right? I love the '80s Master of the Universe movie with Dolph Lundgren. Big fan. Watched it over and over and over again as a kid. They came to Earth, right, looking for the key, and I think the key master. I can't remember if that was his name was or not, but and they come to Earth and they hunt this thing down and they meet this musician and his girlfriend and they find out how to use the key and get back to Eternia to stop Skeletor. So I was like, are they just doing that again? Like, is that what this is? Or is this some other kind of Earth thing? It is on Earth, right? But somehow Prince Adam as a child has crash landed on Earth. Sound familiar? Obviously. And he grows up on Earth. And then I don't know how, right? This is all just very vague plot details. Somehow he ends up having to go back to Eternia. I don't know how that happens. Somebody probably comes and finds him. I assume they've been searching for him forever, right? We need the king's son to come back and save us from the evil forces of Skeletor. That's my assumption there. That's not anything for sure. I'm just guessing. And he finds out who he is, and he goes back and fights Skeletor. So I'm assuming this is a very Superman-esque plot, right? He's probably way stronger than everyone else. I don't know how the Power Sword comes into this. I'm almost hesitant to say that's the actual Power Sword. I was thinking about that. I was like, no way they're going to use. I mean, that is the Power Sword, like from the animated series, from the toys, right? But like, I kind of feel like that's going to be a prop somehow, and like the real sword's on Eternia. I don't know. We'll see, but yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting. I'm excited for it because as a fan, and like I said, we'll go into it a lot more detail next month, right? So come back. I don't know if we're talking about it the first week of March, second, third, but every Monday in March, we're going to be talking about Masters of the Universe through the years. So hang in with us, and we're definitely going to deep dive a little more into that, right? Yeah. So let's move on, I guess. What is next? Speaking of movie news. Do we have any fans of the 1981 horror classic, The Howling? Because you got one right here. I love werewolves, right? And NECA has released an ultimate version of the werewolf from The Howling. And he looks awesome. Look at this thing. Oh, man. He comes with like 3 or 4 interchangeable head. Hold on. I'll find the picture. I have it. He comes with a lot of like interchangeable heads and hands. Just an amazing. If you haven't seen the movie, and you like horror movies, you can watch horror movies without getting like, being triggered or anything, this is a great one. If you're a fan of werewolves, you're a fan of like gore and like special effects, this one is good. This is one of the best werewolves ever on camera, like practical effects, right? I love it. We're growing up in the 80s, we were blessed with that kind of stuff, man. Just blessed with it. Uh, and this was a fun one, A few things that I saw that immediately jumped to mind, and as did everyone else, is those legs, man. There is no way you're going to be able to pose this thing. He is not going to stand up. It is not going to last long before he's like on the floor. But they are including a base with this character, right? And I was like, so that tells you they know in the design phase and probably in the engineering and testing phase, we're going to have to do something because this guy ain't going to stand up on his own. Not for long anyway. Or, so there will be a base, and I think it comes with like a claw that'll hold it in certain, and I think it has different heights too, if I read that correctly, where you could put them in different poses, standing, probably like crouching in like, werewolf dog mode. But yeah, man, the box on this thing looks incredible. The sculpt on this thing looks incredible. The paint on it looks incredible. I love that you've got 3 heads and the mouths you can move the mouths and stuff. Awesome stuff, man. I want it. Horror fans, this is a must have. Because most horror fans, this movie. You've seen it. If you're new to the game, please go find it and watch it. It's a good one. It's a really good one. But that's from NECA, right? And NECA does a lot of good movie action figures in my experience. They're not always the most posable, right? But they always look amazing. And they always have really good accessories too. I always found that with them. Next up, I can't believe I'm talking about this without Tom here. I kind of felt bad even bringing it up. But we're going to talk about Star Trek figures. So Master Replicas is the company. And they want to dive into this modern era of Star Trek with figures. So you just think about everything that's kind of hot right now: Discovery, Picard, Lower Decks, Prodigy, Strange New Worlds, Section 31. These are the things that they want to attack. I don't know a lot about like prices on these. I didn't do a lot of research on that side of these things. I have to assume they're going to be very affordable though. They don't look crazy articulate or like they look good. They look good, right? Especially those Lower Decks figures. I think those look the best out of all of them. The ones that look like, trying to look realistic like real people are kind of me, but because their bodies look a little wonky. But those Lower Decks figures, I like those. And I don't watch a lot of Star Trek outside of the original and some of the Next Generation, but this is something interesting to me. The Lower Decks really interests me, But Star Trek fans, what are you thinking, right? We don't get a whole lot of Star Trek figures, not that I see on shelves anyway, not anywhere I go for shopping. Very rarely do I see any. But yeah, and let me know what you think, Star Trek fans. Like Cat, I saw these pictures; they look incredible. Yeah, they do look incredible. I agree. I'd really like to see where they go with it. I think they could take it in some pretty good directions, and if they're at a good price point, I think they'll sell a ton of them. Really, honestly. So yeah, there's that. Let me get some water here. Last but not least, I think, nope, we've got 2 more things. Sorry. Next to last, the penultimate, as they say. 4 Horsemen Studios. Phenomenal toy makers, phenomenal action figure makers. If you don't know anything about them, just do a little research and just go like, you'll be wowed by a lot of the stuff you see. Cosmic Legions, Mythic Legions. There's a lot of like subcategories where they do play around with like some licensed properties, but make it their own. I don't know how it works exactly, but I guess everything's a lot of it's probably public domain as well. But they play around a lot with like Universal Monsters and Masters of the Universe and things like that. Mass Effect. Trying to think of some more things. A lot of like Mythic Legions are awesome because they can do a lot of like Dungeons and Dragons stuff that looks real cool. But so they're having a retailer exclusive wave where they kind of are re-releasing some of their more popular figures with either like a new paint job and like some extra accessories or something like that. But these usually you could buy directly from Four Horsemen and their website. These are things you have to go to certain retailers to get. Um, dude, they're really good for providing you with a lot of accessories. Like I'm always like taken back by how much they do. Not only is their sculpt work amazing and their paint work phenomenal, but the things they provide you with are at a great value. And a lot of times you'll find when you go to buy any of these kind of figures secondhand, secondary market, they don't come cheap, right? So they're usually rare because they're limited quantities, excuse me. Um, and they're also just really good. They're beautiful. They're well made, man. People like these things. They go crazy for them. Some heavy duty, serious collectors when it comes to Four Horsemen. And yeah, these are some of the figures that they're re-releasing. They look beautiful. If you're just like a fan of certain things, something like uber specific, this is really a cool place to go. I own The only one I own is a Cosmic Legions, which is a repaint of this alien guy on the right here or the left. I don't know which you're looking at. I want that Frankenstein too, by the way, but I have that he's a scout trooper, I think, for it's Tusk, but it's TU522 or something like that, right? Like it's supposed to be a play on words with numbers and stuff. But he's incredible. I haven't opened them. I'm scared to open them because those things go up in value, and and I don't want to like decrease that by opening it. But and I'd like to get some more. I think they're really cool. I just thought it was a cool thing. It's always good to point out these independent toy makers. I know because we talk a lot about Hasbro. We talk a lot about DC, Jada Toys, Mattel, uh, on and on and on and on, right? It's important to highlight some of these independent makers too, like Four Horsemen. There's a lot of other independent studios that make their own brands of toys. I wish I could think of a few more off the top of my head, but yeah. And they tend to be expensive. They tend to be expensive on the secondary market as well because of their rarity, right? And the limited quantities and stuff like that. But yeah, check them out, man. You'll find something cool that interests you. I swear you will. I know I do. It's kind of like everything. But this was actually the big news, all right? Because I know you guys are excited for How to Train Your Dragon, right? Everyone in my house is. Um, Big fan of the animated movies. I remember watching the first one over and over and over again with my son and my second son too. Um, uh, there's something about those movies that really connect with kids and adults. I don't know what it is, but it hits, man. And I, for one, am not a fan of live action remakes of these classic animated. All the Disney movies, I don't care, right? Um, and when this first got announced and that little teaser trailer dropped, I was like, I don't care. But I went to see a movie and there was a trailer for this while I was in the theater, and it totally changed my outlook on it. Where I was like, nah, that looks awesome. I got to see that. There's just something about it being in the movie theater that made it so that music is just it touches your soul, man. If you're open up to it, right? It's cool. It's cool. Anyway, let's get into the toys, all right? Because they've given us some images of their releases. Um, as you can see, the three dragons and their riders here are like the big things, with a couple more. But yeah, look at that big fella there. I can't. Is it Clobber? That's his name, right? Clobber. I just want to look it up, make sure. How to Train Your Dragon. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I just want to make sure I'm telling you the right thing. Pretty sure that's Clobber, and we've got like way more too. because they released a lot of stuff. That's Gronkle. Gronkle and fish legs. Cat, you got to go back and watch it, okay? You got to go back and watch it. It's a beautiful thing. You'll be crying with joy and then crying because you're sad. Gronkle and fish legs. I don't know who the actor is playing fish legs. So a little deeper look into these, and I didn't really give the picture. They seem very simple when it comes to articulation and style. Absolutely, Muncie, best score. It's a top 5 all time. These aren't like super articulate figures. They do look pretty good, but they're very simple. They're very simple in articulation and stylized. You can put him up on his little saddle to ride the dragon, but in the pictures I saw, he kind of looked a little funky. You know, like probably not going to stay up there very well. You're gonna have to hold him up there while if you're a kid playing with it or something like that. But we've also got Deadly Natter and Astrid, right? Very cool. A lot of controversy over the Astrid stuff. Not really going to get into that at all, but yeah, this is that one. You know, we've got these riders. They only did the 3 right now. I assume they'll probably release there's like 2 more or 3 more. There's 3 more, I think. And of course, you got Hiccup and Toothless. Toothless looks really cool no matter what kind of toy form he's in, I've noticed. But again, these are going to be very basic. The legs will probably move, the wings will probably go up and down, but there's not going to be a whole lot of posability coming to these things. They're more for play than for collecting. But you can collect them too if you want. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But you also get the big like lava mountain dragon. What's the name? Titan Red Death. Dude, what a cool name. What a cool name. Anyway, if you've seen the animated movie, this is like the big bad dragon at the end that they have to defeat, and he is a handful. Looks great, man. He was scary. I think he was scarier in the animated version to me. You know what I mean? He looks pretty, intimidating as well. We'll see. We'll see. The movie's not here yet. I'm not judging anything till I see it. All right. But yeah, there's that. Here's the one that I think is really cool. You've got this like ultimate plasma blast Toothless. So as you know, when Toothless gets ready to fire off a shot of his fire breath, which is really kind of just like a missile. It's not really a breath, it's a missile. You get that light real quick, and then poof, and he shoots a little like bullet of flame or whatever, and it's purple or blue or bluish purple, whatever. So this is a cool toy that poses and his mouth will light up. It would be really cool if it was like that Bowser figure they did for the Super Mario Brothers movie, where the steam rolls out. You could put a little water in his back. That would be cool, man. I would probably pick up something like that because I like little techniques like that, little machinations. I don't know what we call it, but if a toy does something beyond just posing or sitting there, you have LEDs, you have steam effects or something like that. I'm in, man. I'm in on stuff like that. It's just fun. It's fun. It's fun all the way around. Being that Toothless is the flagship of this whole franchise, obviously most of these toys are based around him, right? You have this cool little pistol launcher. This is something as a kid I would love to play with. I probably would still play with it, being honest with you. Excuse me. But yeah, this is just, you load him up, right, and shoot him out, and he glides, and I think that's something cool to play with. Another really cool thing is a flying RC Toothless. It's a remote control flying Toothless, dude, with Hiccup on his back. Come on, man! Like, that's a really cool toy. I think that it's probably going to be like a big seller for them. Hey, Megan, good to see you. What I like about this one in particular, and I've noticed in the other Toothless figures thus far, or toys thus far, is that he just has the brown tail. Because if you know in the show, like when he gets captured by the Vikings, his tail gets torn and he can't fly because of it. So Hiccup makes him like a sail, like he makes like a mechanical sail, but he has to ride Toothless and control it or else he can't fly. And so this is the first time where we get the red thing with like the little Viking emblem on it, because I didn't see that in the other toys. It's just brown, which is the original one. And then eventually he gets the red one. So I think that's a really cool touch to put on the flying RC Toothless, right? We're going to add that detail in now. And that's little Hiccup's little, like, he's got like a weapon that he can do various things with. That's your remote control. What a clever thing. I think they did a really good job designing these toys. And this is going to be a very successful campaign, I think. And I think the movie releases in June. So you can I don't think the toys have slated to release yet, but you could probably see them end of May into June, right? And maybe later. I don't know. What do I know, man? I can't tell the future, right? But anyway, so as far as toy news goes, that's about all I got. Unless you got something else for me you want to throw down in the chat, we can talk about real quick. But before we get to that, I want you to know I'm happy you're here. I'm happy you're watching. Thanks for joining us here on Play for Keeps. Again, I'm all by my lonesome. My co-host Tom is off today, enjoying himself. I hope he's having a great time. So make sure to subscribe to Nerd Initiative. Hit the bell so you can get notifications for when we release a new toy review, which we did today with the Hulkbuster Iron Man Marvel Legends Deluxe from our good friend Derek at the Paperweight Entertainment Pod. He's our Iron Man specialist, our expert, and he did a great job with it. Some things I didn't know about it that I'm glad I know now before I go and buy one. Also, tap that thumbs up to let us know we're doing a good job and that what we're doing is, I don't know, either entertaining or educational or whatever it may be. You just want to hang out and talk. I don't know, man. But yeah, follow us on all the socials, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We're real people just talking about things we love, and we want to share that with you, and we want you to share it with us as well, right? I think that's important. That's something that sometimes gets lost in the shuffle of making content, is that we just want to hang out and geek over things that we really, really like. And we want you to geek out over the things you really, really like. And maybe we share those and we can geek out together. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm crazy. Anyway, guys. So Monday nights, every Monday night, 8:00, right here, Play for Keeps, whether I'm by myself or whether it's me and Tom, or maybe sometimes Tom may be by himself. We don't know yet, right? But we'll always be talking about toys, toy news, where we usually pick a franchise or an IP and we kind of break down the history of it, the pop culture, the toys, all of it, man, just how it affected people of that time and how much we still love it. It's nostalgia. That's all it is. Every Tuesday night, come back here, comic book fans, for Turn a Page. That is our comic book club type of thing. The guys always will pick an issue of something relevant and break it down, talk about what they liked, what they didn't like, talk about the creators. And then on occasion, they will bring on a creator for an interview. We talk to some really big guests, name dropping here, Scott Snyder, Tim Sheridan, right? Those guys are always cool. We always have a good conversation with them. That's a good place to do that. Every Wednesday, all right, comic book reviews on our website, but you will also see some video reviews here on YouTube. Joey and Tom do a great job with that. We usually have some other people chime in as well. But yeah, you can every Wednesday go to our website. That's where you want to be. We have like 30 plus reviews. If you read comics, you want to know whether you should pick something up or not. That's the place to go. I'm telling you, right? Thursday nights, wrestling fans, it's the road to WrestleMania. You cannot miss Thursday nights if you want to keep yourself updated. You want to hear the latest news, the rumors. You want to talk shop, just have fun with our own like machinations of what's going to happen. It's a great time with those guys. They're a lot of fun. I enjoy them a lot. Yeah. So, thank you. Thank you, Ken. Tomorrow night, Matthew Rosenberg on tap. See, there you go. What I said, we're bringing in some awesome creators, and nobody does New Comic Book Day quite like Nerd Initiative. That's for you, buddy. Uh, so yeah, that's about it. That's about all I got for tonight. Sorry we didn't have anything cool to talk about like Thundercats or any of the Rankin Bash shows like we did last month. If you like those things, maybe you should go check those out. It'd be pretty cool. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I think we have one more Monday night before March where we start our Masters of the Universe month. I'm holding my cards close to the chest. I don't want to tell you what we're doing just yet, but it might be pretty big. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to get it too excited and then something fall through, right? So we'll see. I don't know. Anyway, have a great night, right? Enjoy yourself. Thank you, Ken. Thanks everyone for being in the chat tonight. Please, even if the show's not live, leave us a comment telling us something you'd like us to cover, telling us something you like that we did. Tell us something you don't like that we did. I don't, give us some criticism. I take it well. I promise. Anyway, so everyone have a great night out there, and